From Code 591 in beautiful downtown Jesup, Iowa. This is the birthplace of the Bohemian Resistance. We are the Bohemian Underground with producer Blake Tempus and co-host Dale Rueber and special co-host Graham Harris. I am Jim Gillespie, and this is the news for August 18th, 2025. We are sponsored by Mickey D's Pizza and Lobster. The Farrells are kind sponsors of this podcast. Include them at your wedding, graduation, or festival plans. Don't wait, their schedule is filling up for 2025. They're sponsoring a traveling art show for the Steve Brown Arts Center. Thanks to them for including the traveling art show. Another sponsor who's been with us since the birth of the SBAC's Derek's Repair, located in Jesup, Iowa. Contact Derek Marty for your car repair needs. Also, check out the podcast, What Is Up, with our friend Bubba Seaman. We got together with Bubba this past Saturday for sort of a reunion, and next week we will tell you more about that. Bubba's a good man. So first, welcome, Graham.
Thank you for...
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What grade are you in?
I'm going into 8th grade, August 25th, I believe.
And where do you go to school?
Johnson Middle School.
I know through spies that we have in Johnston that you're in the band. What else are you involved in?
I do show choir and choir. I also do band, and we do some other stuff.
Okay, what do you play in the band?
I play trombone.
Oh, wow. So if you were to be around Saturday or this last Saturday, you could have saw the Brass Band.
Yeah.
You can't say it, but you could have seen them.
Yeah,
yes.
you could have seen them at Rueber Park. They are so wonderful. They are our most recent artist in residence. So, Graham, what do you have for brothers and sisters?
I have a sister, older sister, Grace Harris.
Okay, and your mother and father are?
Joy Harris and Kevin Harris.
Okay. Well, do you want to do a shout out to any of your friends?
Shout out to Kevin Harris, because I know he watches everything that you guys do.
All right.
And what's your main interest? What takes up most of your time?
Probably scouting. I have a lot of friends that we do it with, and we go camping a lot.
Okay. And what rank are you in Scouts?
I'm a Life Scout.
Okay. And what's the next rank you'll be?
Eagle.
Eagle Scout. Okay. So you've done a lot with scouting. So.
Yep.
Where do you do the majority of your camping at?
We go to different camps most of the time. We never really go to two camps that often, but
Okay. I like variety.
Yeah.
Adventure is a good thing. I'm like you. I don't want to be sort of like Yasser Arafat. You don't sleep in the same bed every night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with that. Well, so welcome. We'll be back to you, Graham. So
all right, thank you.
You betcha. Thanks for being with us. So Dale, not that this is nepotism or anything,
right?
But are you familiar with nepotism in Hollywood?
Well, yeah. Now I'm trying to think, but like John Wayne had a lot of his relatives in his movies. His son Patrick, and then I think another one did some acting. There was a Robert Mitchum's son, that did some acting. None of it real good acting, but it was in some movies with him. And I know that a lot of other movie stars have had their relatives involved with projects that they're involved with.
I have a top 5 Nepo babies of Hollywood.
Okay.
I don't have an OI. Number 5, Liza Minnelli.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Number 4.
What?
Go ahead.
Her sister also.
Oh, really? I didn't realize.
Lorna Luft was her sister. So Judy Garland's daughter from another marriage.
Oh.
And so there were 2 of them in that family, actually.
There was. Okay. Number 4, Miley Cyrus. Billy Ray
Cyrus, the country star.
Yeah. What was her name in the show? She did a show on her own.
Hannah Montana.
Very good. Yeah.
My sister watches those movies a lot.
Okay. Number 3, Coppola.
See, I don't know her.
What's her dad's name? The big producer, director-producer.
What's the last name?
Coppola. Is it Frank Ford Coppola?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big movie director.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The Vietnam War one.
Oh,
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse
I think that was his,
Now,
wasn't
yeah.
it? Yeah, big
Yeah.
movie. Okay.
Very good. Number 2, Drew Barrymore.
Okay.
Her biggest hit was at 7 years old, 8 years old.
Somewhere in there.
E.T. You ever seen E.T.?
Yep.
Okay. By 9, she was smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
By 10, she was going out to the clubs with her mother. Her mother treated her more as a friend than as a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 14, she sued for and got her independence from her parents and lived in an apartment on her own. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's only what you are. You are 13 right now?
Yep.
So an 8th grader having their own apartment. I advise
Would you like that?
against
Or?
it.
I think it would be fun at some points, but not fun at others.
Laundry and mealtime would be the worst part for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't cook?
I cook a little, but not a lot.
Okay. And number 1, Henry Fonda's daughter, Jane.
Jane Fonda.
Yeah. She made a lot of money and married rich besides. Married Ted. Oh, what's his name? The guy that
Ted
owned
Turner.
Ted Turner
Yeah.
at WTV.
He owned Turner Classic Movies. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turner Broadcasting and Turner Atlanta Braves. So he owned those too. Did he own the Braves?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And so, I always had trouble. Jane Fonda. She was in Hanoi Jane. They called her.
Right.
She had her trouble with the North Vietnamese, and I liked some of the movies that she was in, but it always bothered me that I was supporting her just from that whole thing. But no, she was in On Golden Pond.
Yeah.
I liked that. And I don't know if you remember, this wasn't it was a Robert Redford movie, The Electric Horseman.
Oh, that was a great movie.
I love that.
it.
Yeah, I love that movie, and she was in that.
She was in that.
Yeah, she was the reporter in that.
Yeah, she was.
And,
now you mention it.
And
Yeah.
she made, it was Clute with Donald Sutherland, was an Oscar-winning movie, or somebody got an Oscar out of that, but I've never watched that movie.
Clute. I don't know that.
Yeah,
movie.
it was an Oscar-nominated movie, and I think, did she get an Oscar for that? Or did I don't think Donald Sutherland did, but it was a very well-respected movie. But I have never watched it.
So let me start with you, Graham, and we'll come this way. Do you think, Graham, that if an artist is good, as far as good artist, but a bad person like Michael Jackson abused children? He had all these songs, including Thriller, that people still listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Should you stop listening to their music because they are bad people?
Ooh, that's hard. I would say it's if you're taking what they're doing with their music and they're making themselves more about the bad things that they're doing, and that's what you're taking away from them, I feel like that's what you shouldn't listen to them. But if you're just listening to the music and you like the music, I think it could be fine.
So they're still benefiting, though, from you listening to the music.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. I would say no, then.
Okay. What do you think, Dale?
Well, I think you have to divorce the two parts. You have to take apart the talent part and the personal life part. And I've always felt like I don't need to know what my favorite singer eats for breakfast. I don't care who they're married to or where they live or this sort of thing. You know, when their music is available and I like their music, then I listen to it, and I try not to get involved with all the other stuff. And so that's the only way you can really deal with it, because everybody's got something. Mickey Mantle was always a big hero of mine, but I've read books about that he was not a very likable person, almost despicable in some of his actions, and it has really soured me, people having, even as a young, having heroes, because all heroes, have their feet of clay, they say.
Yeah.
And so it does bother me that, like you and Graham were talking about, that you enrich people by supporting them. But to me, if you're going to enjoy movies, music, whatever, you need to separate the talent part from their personal life so you can enjoy the talent part.
The Tim Kemmer, our first artist in residence, his son struggled with some health problems, and he got to go down to Disneyland to. I mix those up. Is the one in Florida Disneyland?
Disney World.
Disney World.
Yeah. Anaheim, California is Disneyland.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he got to go to Disney World, and then while there, he got a chance to meet John Denver. They went to this place to meet John Denver, and Tim was saying that John Denver wanted to be there like a fish at a gator farm. You know, they didn't want anything to do with it. Didn't want to be around people.
He didn't want to be there. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. He was just bored with people.
Yeah.
And I read a lot about Jimmy Buffett. And Jimmy Buffett, do you know Jimmy Buffett, Graham?
I've heard the name before.
Uh-huh.
I would probably recognize him if I saw him. But
Come Monday and
Margaritaville.
oh yeah, I saw a news report about him. Yeah.
Yeah. But Jimmy Buffett complained constantly about having to deal with his fans. Well, your fans is what makes you rich.
Sure. Yeah.
And it really, I thought, Jimmy, you're missing out. You're missing some things. And I suppose if we went through that, we would probably want our independence too.
Well, you want some privacy.
Yeah.
And you give up a lot of privacy for the hero worship and the being a star and making all the money. But I think if you're in your house, people shouldn't line up at your door all hours of the day and night to bother you, or
Right.
you should be able to go to the grocery store without having to sign 15 or 20 autographs. But then again, that is the price you pay.
Yeah.
You give up a lot of your privacy for this other. And well, they just said it was a Bill Gates. I know he's got a huge complex in some town in California. He's bought up all kinds of properties and putting up fences and trying to make a compound.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I hope I'm saying the right guy. It may not be Bill Gates, but it's one of those kind of guys that has the billions of dollars. And he's trying to apparently buy up a whole area of this small town and just keep it for himself. And some people think it's okay, and other people are upset about it. But anyway, to get back to there has to be a fine line there, but you have to realize that if you want the fame and you want the money, then you're going to give up a lot of your privacy.
Okay, yeah, you are. You do give up a lot of your privacy. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. Dale, what do you have for us for local news today?
Well, if you go by the school, you'll see the Prospect Street. Half of it is paved. They have a big paving machine up there.
Yeah.
And it's a nice cement street, which is, I thought for years Jesup should go to that more than just putting this rock down in the blacktop every year. To start paving a block or two every. But it's all cement. It's going to look really, really nice. And if you go by the school, they've got the landscaping done by the new auditorium, and the grass is down, and the parking lot is being used now. There's cars parked in that nice blacktop parking lot, and so it just looks really, really nice up there. And once they get Prospect Street done and all of that landscaping done, where they had to dig it up, boy, it's going to look really, really nice up there. And so that is working. That is coming. I called the school, and they are planning an open house, but they don't have any firm date or time yet. But there's still things to do. But sometime, I imagine this fall, there'll be a chance for the public to go tour through the school. And so that is good. I had some friends that were using the splash, so people raised a lot of money and put that splash pad in Jesup. And they were talking, these were visitors talking about how much fun their kids had at that splash pad, how wonderful it was for them. And so and these were 6 or 7 year old kids, but how much they had enjoyed. And then the family had a little thing in the pavilion, the little picnic shelter there at that park that is new, and so it worked out really well. So it's nice to see, for people using these parks that are scattered around town, and also that something like this splash pad that costs quite a bit of money is being used. And Graham and I drove by there today, and there was a little girl getting ready to go out on the splash pad. So, and I was saying, we had a Kurt Beyer is a graduate of Jesup High School. He went to Wharton School of Business at Penn University, and he has a job, and his company has him assigned to the London office. And he goes all over Europe and back to the States with big business deals and this sort of thing. He travels a lot, and but he's working out of London. He came back, and so a lot of the kids that he knew from high school were able to come and visit with him, and I thought that was really nice. It got me thinking how we have people like Kurt who are in London working, and I know we have graduates in Florida and all over the place, but then we also have graduates in our hometown that went to school or maybe didn't go to school but stayed here and made their home, made their business. They're on the fire department, they're on the Chamber of Commerce, they're on different boards and that sort of thing, serving. And so it's interesting how some kids leave and some kids stay, and both of them bring a lot of value to the world. And so I just was thinking about that too. So I thought that was pretty nice. So I was glad to see people using these things. And so we have a couple things at the Cowork 591 this week, and that is Bent's Smokehouse food truck. We'll be here on the 19th. That's a Tuesday from 11 to 2. And then the Rockin' 5K Barbecue. That sounds like a ranch truck, doesn't it? Yeah, from 11 to 2 on the 21st. And so, and that probably will be the last lunch in the park too, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
School starts.
Yeah, usually when school starts, they quit having those.
Yep.
But so 2 more food trucks, and then there's 2 more the last week of August also. So just 2 weeks left in the whole month, and that's something how fast it goes by.
Fall's coming on.
Yeah.
September.
The crickets are starting to chirp. So.
Yeah. Been a busy week here.
Public library still going strong. They have the exercise group Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 in the morning, and always several cars down there I see. The card games are on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Tech help, if you need help with your phone or whatever, 9 a.m. on Mondays. You can make an appointment and go in, and somebody will show you how to turn it on or whatever you need. If you don't have a grandson that can do that for you. Why, they had this glow-in-the-dark painting all week, and so this coming week, from today through the 23rd, you can go into the library and view these glow-in-the-dark paintings where they use a black light, and like you used to use in your dorm room, I'm sure, when you brought girls up there, and see your artwork or your posters from these crazy bands that they had in those days and this sort of thing. Little Todd story time is Thursday at 10:30. We went by the library and they had a school bus in the parking lot. They had remember we talked about last week, they're bringing a school bus up and the kids can get on the bus and they have a story read to them.
Oh, yeah.
And just learn about being on a bus. And they're doing that again today on the 18th at 2:30.
I believe last year Zach Knutson might have read the story. Who's reading the story this year?
That I do not know. So I thought I saw Becky Worstman get off the bus.
Oh, okay.
So I assumed that she did, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
she might have just been on there for policing activities or just to take care of things. So
a bus monitor.
A bus monitor, that's good, yeah. I remember times when I rode the bus, we could have used a bus monitor big time.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the drivers the way, never mind. And then today also, 1 o'clock, is the Chapter Chat Book Club, and they're doing Miss Morgan's Book Brigade by Janet Skeslin Charles. Janet Skeslin Charles. And so if you've been reading that book, or if you just want to come and listen about it, that's today. And then the next time they have Books and Brews is going to be September 8th, and that's coming up. And it's called a book called On the Island by Tracy Garvis Graves, and another book called The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. And so those two are being discussed.
If I could talk about the book club, both Becky's are very open about going in with an idea for a book. Mm-hmm. And I went in with the idea of a book called Illusions 2. You get a chance, Dale. Illusions is a real good read. It's a short read. If you don't have it, I've got it, or it's online. I'll send it to you. It's I'm not pirating it offline. It's illegal.
We never do anything illegal.
The guy. Yes, we wouldn't.
If we hum a few bars of a song, we pay the rights. I mean, really, honest, we do.
Or run fast from the cow. Yeah, but anyhow, I went in with the idea of Illusions 2. And Becky said she would check it out. The problem with the book is they can't get enough interlibrary loan books, and it was never printed in large print for people that struggle to read. Struggle to look. I mean, there's certain prints before I had my cataracts worked on that were impossible for me to read.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you wear contacts, Graham?
Nope.
Good for you. Good for you.
Okay, so that's what we have for right now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. On the Steve Brown Art Center Podcast Network. We'll be right back. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. I'm Jim Gillespie. We're here with producer Blake Tempus and co-host Dale Rueber and his co-host Grant, his grandson co-host Graham. Spending would you spend a week here in Jesup?
I'm spending a few days here in Jesup.
And so what, teach the people of Jesup, what is there to do in Jesup, Graham?
You can go to Joe's Pizza.
Yeah.
There's a lot of green spaces here. There's a lot of trains that can wake you up at night. So yeah.
I was afraid he was going to say, and you can go to Fairbank and swim.
The funny thing, Graham, is at one time I lived half a block from the track. After a week, you don't hear the train.
Yeah.
You know, you just.
No, that's very
it.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling him today that his mother, when she was a tiny baby, brought her home from the hospital, and the train. We lived on Young Street, which is just the train is across the street.
Yeah.
And the first train went by, she didn't even wake up, and so
Yeah, it doesn't bother you. The unique thing is in the summertime, I hear the train a lot. You know, the wind is out of the south,
okay.
and I live out
4 miles out.
Yeah, I live 4 miles out in the country. I can hear it on the track. I can hear the horn. It's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah.
I like the sound of a train. So anyhow, this past weekend, or 2 weekends ago, my mother's people got together.
Okay.
The Benson clan got together. We gathered at Grandpa's house up by New Hampton, and between Davis Corners and New Hampton.
New Hampton, I know. Davis Corners, I do not.
Davis Corners is the intersection of Highway 63 and Highway 9.
Okay.
Is what it is. We got together. I've made a top 5 for the 5 best things about a family reunion.
Okay.
Off the list are the barbecue. And we've got quite a fishing clan, and we had 3 cousins made deep fat fried fish. Oh my gosh, it was good eating.
Yeah.
And, they live right by the Mississippi. They had perch and they had bass. You name it,
Sure.
they had walleye. He's a big walleye fisherman. And so that's off the list. Now, number 5, the love of the family.
Okay.
You gather. And the funny thing is, you don't see them for years, and everybody wants to hug after all those years.
Yep. So this is in order?
This is in order. Yeah, this is in order. Number 4, the food. Oh my, the food! It's so good.
Did anybody bring scotcheroos? The Rice Krispie thing?
They didn't.
Okay.
They didn't. What our family brings is garden stuff.
Oh, okay.
They pickles and onions and I took strawberries and Cool Whip and Hershey's chocolate. Oh, I'm telling you, I could eat that. That could be my main diet. But that's number 4 is food. Number 3, the history of your family. We were talking about the uncles, and you find out, people perish. We went a long time and didn't have a family reunion, and then last year we got back together, and this was the 2nd year in a row. But last year the patriarch couldn't make it, so the patriarch was there. Leonard Benson is his name. He was there. And in our family, the patriarch and the matriarch are big deals. When my mother was the youngest child in the Benson clan, the cousins would all come and see her. It was a big deal to see the matriarch. Number 2, competition. We used to play softball. We used to have so many people that we'd have 13, 14 people in the field, 13 or 14 people batting. We don't have those numbers anymore. People just don't come like they used to the reunion. But we played, cornhole, and talk about competitive. One of the last reunions where my uncles and my mother were alive, there was a terrible fight. her brothers and her got in the corner of a basement at a card table and started playing euchre. And within 10 minutes, they were yelling at each other about cheating and the rules. So they taught me to be competitive. And number one are the memories. You forget things. Mm-hmm. You forget family. You realize why you did stuff with your family. There was I grew up in Cresco, and we would go to Decorah and see a cousin and his wife and their kids a lot. And I never understood why we went there. And my mother, my cousin's wife was not blood family, and she was closer to my cousin's wife than she was my cousin. And it's fun to get back. Her children still come to the reunion, and they talk about when we would come to the house and how they look forward to that. And their mother was much younger than my mother. For the love of me, I've got ideas, but I don't know why she would go or why she wanted to go there.
Sure.
But it was a wonderful family. So, but that is the top 5 list for family reunion. Graham, do you guys do family reunion? Does the Harris side do family reunions?
We meet up at Christmas. Really, we sometimes do family photos.
Okay. What about the Ruebers? Do the Ruebers gather?
No. We used to go to the Plague and Cool reunion, and my grandfather Rueber died when my dad was only like 12 years old, and so my grandma Rueber never remarried, but she had the 4 children, but she naturally gravitated more to her family, which were the Plague and Cools. So we did a lot with Plague and Cools, and not very much with the Rueber side of the family.
Right,
which seems a little strange. But when my kids were little, my dad wanted to go to the Plague and Cool reunion they were having in Hawkeye, so we went several years, and they had the old registers, the old notebooks where people would sign in.
Yeah.
And in the old days, in the 30s and 40s, I suppose, there'd be well over 100 names, 150 names, sometimes more than that. And now we were down to 25 people or this sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And they loved my kids because they were the only kids there.
Yeah.
And so we would make them sing little songs that they knew. So they were the entertainment. And they didn't like it too much, but they did it. They did it. They were real good about doing it. And the old people just really appreciated it because, but that has since, gone by the wayside too. So I don't know if they meet at all anymore.
I don't know why they don't. There's an article, and technology is wonderful when you don't lose your stuff.
Yeah.
Thing of the past are key to the future. If you're like me, your family had a reunion each summer, and we had a reunion each summer. It was a wonderful way to reconnect. Then people started passing away, and things came about, people became active in other things. The value is reconnecting, strengthening bonds, the learning family history, sharing family stories, traditions, anecdotes, celebrate your legacy of faith. But the problem is, they talked about how do we get more people there, and they said, well, change the date. Oh, we can't change the date.
Yeah.
We got to do this. It's not like it used to be.
Well, our own little nuclear family, there's 15 of us. Myself and my wife, our children, and the grandchildren, and the spouses. And to get 15 people together in the summertime, Johnston and Hudson and Jesup and Ypsilanti, Michigan, all of them with children that are involved with activities of one kind or the other. And it's impossible to find 4 days in a row because the kids from Michigan, there's a lot of traveling involved with that.
Yeah.
It's impossible to find 4 or 5 days in a row where people could get together just on one of those days without somebody not being able to be there because of some activity or another. And so I think the kids are much more involved. And sometimes I think air conditioning, older people, they tell them, don't go out when it's hot. Well, they used to go out when it was hot, but now they stay, I got to stay in the air conditioning. And you could have an air conditioned reunion. I wouldn't be very good at it. You should be out in the park and sweating it out. But so I don't know. I just think the lifestyle of everyone, people keep their kids so busy, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but there's so many activities they get involved with, and it's just really hard. Whereas before, nobody did anything in the summer,
No.
and you were always available, it seemed like. And so, I don't know. I thought family reunions were good. Sick on the mayonnaise or something. But, I enjoyed the family reunions I went to. And again, probably because you get to talk with a lot of the older people in your family, and you learn a lot that way. And also just because the food is so darn good, you just really like doing that, and so.
Graham, you represent the youth in the booth here.
Mm-hmm.
What is your thoughts? Do you like family reunions?
I like family reunions. I think they're a great way to get families together. It just depends on the activities that we're doing and where we're doing it.
I understand. I understand it's difficult. I have a large family nucleus that lives in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 10 cousins.
Yeah.
And they've been extremely kind to me over the years. I mean, extremely kind. Went out of their way, had me to Kansas City. They own a house down in the Ozarks. And I was going to arrange an Airbnb in Florida 3 or 4 years ago, and invite them all and pay for the house and the food and everything, because they've done so much for me and did so much for my mother and dad. Couldn't get one of them to come, and I was offended for a long time.
Sure,
it offended me. Like, I mean, I can come to your stuff, but you can't come to mine.
Yeah.
But then, as the years went by, I realized, they have children. Like one of the families has grandbabies out in Seattle. They've got a lot of traveling to do.
People are spread out all over.
Yeah. It's a nightmare. So it doesn't bother me anymore. But I like certain parts of the family reunion.
Yeah. People say, remember we used to have the ice cream socials at church and and people would come and we would do this and people would come and have the potlucks and people won't, they don't do that anymore. And, I just think time marches on. It's a different world, different people, different activities, and so much more out there that, you just have to kind of let those things go, because you just set yourself up for disappointment if you think you're going to have 200 people come to your get-together. Well, it just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. This is T. Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. What are you looking at today as far as in the news?
Well, I found an article by George Will, who writes for the Washington Post and is widely published in lots of different papers. And he's talking about 5 long-shot ways to stop the onrushing debt disaster. And we have talked about the national debt here before.
Yeah.
And you had that kid on here that yelled at me about the national debt. Yeah. And so, and I was going to read part of this to you because I know nobody reads the newspaper anymore. But today's crisis of the nation's fiscal trajectory elicits a peculiar optimism. Necessity, in the form of the exhaustion of the Social Security Trust Fund, will lash Congress into reforming 2 entitlement programs, Social Security and Medicare, that are driving the nation's indebtedness. This optimism is delusional. To understand why, read a recent lecture on the fiscal future by Harvard economics professor and former chair of President George W. Bush's Council of Economic Advisors, N. Gregory Manqui. He cites 5 ways to stop the upward trajectory of debt: extraordinary economic growth, government default, large-scale money creation, substantial cuts in government spending, and large tax increases. The probability of each is low. The first is extraordinary growth. This is where the economy just goes crazy. More factories, more buildings, more production, this sort of thing, more jobs. He says the internet managed to revolutionize work and leisure without igniting extraordinary economic growth. Coming innovations such as artificial intelligence and biotechnologies will be life-changing, but are unlikely to establish an entirely new growth path. Okay, then he said government default, and they're always worried about the government defaulting. But he says the United States is not immune to the political and economic forces that can make default an attractive option. When President Franklin D. Roosevelt took the nation off the gold standard, many U.S. bonds had clauses ensuring their value was in gold bullion. Well, FDR just wiped those out. And though the Supreme Court upheld 5-4 his power to do this, it was, Manqui says, without doubt, it was a default, because the cash money they were giving to pay out the bonds was not the same as the gold they would have gotten that they were
Right.
promised. 2016 candidate Donald Trump was asked how he would handle the national debt. He answered, renegotiate it. You go back and you say, hey, guess what? The economy crashed. I'm going to give you back half. So that's how he would handle the national debt. You say, I can just give you half. That's it. So that's one way of cutting the national debt. Okay, large-scale money creation. This would be intended to fuel inflation, which is slow-motion repudiation of debts. Bondholders are paid back in dollars worth much less than those they used to purchase the bonds.
The Romans did that.
They just made more money.
They made more money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you buy bonds with dollars today, if you just increase the amount of dollars and water that down, then when you get paid back, that money's not worth what it was worth when you bought the bonds, even with the interest. And
Inflation.
So they would get much less than what they spent to purchase the bonds. Okay, substantial spending cuts has been in the news all year. It says, remember Elon Musk's U.S. Doge service probably. Its role in the firings of federal workers was entertaining theater, but compensation for civilian government employees is only about 4% of the government's budget. Then Manqui quotes, federal civilian employees make up about 4.5% of the economy's total non-farm employment in the 1950s. Today, it's under 2%. Significant spending cuts can only come from Social Security and health programs. I said, good luck. And then large tax hikes. Closing the fiscal gap between outlays and revenue would require, Manqui estimates, increasing overall tax revenue 14%. Economically, this is entirely feasible, but politically, there is now a bipartisan consensus about a central tenet of tax policy. The Republicans don't want to raise taxes on anyone except universities with large endowments. The Democrats want to raise taxes only on the richest 1%. So the two parties essentially agree that 99% of Americans should not have to endure higher taxes. Today's national debt is an immense intergenerational transfer of wealth from unborn future Americans who will inherit the debt obligations to today's consumers of government goods and services. The political class is more united by class interest than it is divided by ideology. Politicians and their constituents enjoy having huge deficits throughout the business cycle. Manqui believes a large tax increase is inevitable, and he recommends a value-added tax, which most nations have. He warns, change might occur only when the bond market loses faith in American political institutions, when people stop buying the bonds. So, optimists believe change will come soon. The forcing event supposedly will occur by 2033 when Social Security's trust fund will be exhausted. Without change, benefits will be cut more than 20%. But that happening is not believable. With just a few words, the law can be amended to say that Social Security's revenue shortfall will be filled with general revenue, which means enlarging the now constant borrowing binge. Those amending the law will dismiss worries that the bond market will demand much higher interest rates. They will reassuringly say this has not happened during decades of promiscuous borrowing. Manqui, however, reminds us of an axiom. In economics, things take longer to happen than you think they will, and then they happen faster than you thought they could, which I thought was a good quote.
Yes.
I thought it was an interesting article, and there are ways to work with this debt that we have. This $37 trillion or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're waiting, I guess, until the Congress is forced into doing something, and that seems to be the case. And so
I was listening to a podcast today, Dale. They talked about how they think that the Democrats are going to stumble into a landslide victory this coming November. They claim that there's going to be, is it this
26,
this November? 26.
another year,
not this
Yeah.
one, in 26, because the midterm. Because they say that the damage that the Republicans have done with cutting Medicare, is Medicare, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Medicaid. Medicare and Medicaid,
Medicare and Medicaid to those people. And the other things will rock the Republicans' world. And they also claim that the man or woman that has a plan, a 10-year plan to make up for what the present administration has done will also win the presidency in 28.
Okay. I don't know. The thing that bothers me most about the government, and I think we'll let this go, is how they don't believe the science. Like people are dying of measles and other diseases when there's shots available, but the government in some form or another has let them know that they don't believe people should get inoculations. And then today, Des Moines, if you've been reading the paper all year, has been, they get their water from the Raccoon River and the other river that comes through there. And it's been so polluted, they told them not to use the water to water their grass even. Last year, the EPA, the federal EPA, put those rivers, 7 rivers in Iowa, on a watch because they were so dirty. Those were Biden's people. This year, Trump's people are there. They said, they're okay. Don't worry about it. And the scientists just say, people don't want to believe the science anymore. It's politically unpopular for them. And so in healthcare and science and cancer research and all these things, they just want to say, no, all these people that know what they're doing are wrong, and we, the politicians, are right because it's politically better for us to ignore these kind of problems. So I think that is a sad, sad situation, and if it continues on, we're going to pay for it in the long run. So
this is the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We'll be right back. The Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We're back. We're back with Graham Harris, Dale Rueber, Blake Tempus, and I'm Jim Gillespie. We were talking about this before we went in the air, and I was reading somewhere today where it says there are 5 songs. Actually, I made this easy for you guys. I dumbed down the assignment a little bit.
We always appreciate that. I can tell you, that's the truth.
Yeah, but it was 7 songs that influenced you. But I gave you guys 5 songs that influenced you beforehand. Gave you a chance to write it. So Graham, we're going to start with you. What are the 5 songs that has influenced the 13-year-old's life?
For number 1, I would have to say Yellow Submarine from the Beatles.
Wow! Number 1. Let's go from 5 to 1. Let's start back.
My bad.
All right.
I would have to say number 5, What If, Matthew West.
What If by Matthew West. Don't know that.
I don't know that song either. So.
Okay.
Number 4, Moving Right Along from the Muppets.
Moving Right Along from the Muppets. I've heard that.
Supernatural, Ben Rector.
Ben Rector, Supernatural. Okay.
Number 2, Santa Claus is Coming to Town from Bruce Springsteen.
I like that one. Yeah.
And then number 1, Yellow Submarine by the Beatles.
Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. So why, Graham, did these songs influence you?
The top 2, I listened to a lot when I was younger, and I feel like they were a good way to. They started me like listening to music. I feel like. Yeah.
Okay, you got a little bohemian in you. You got a little hippie in you. So that's a bohemian.
That's a big word.
Yeah, it is. It is. It can be defined several ways. Yellow Submarine, though, that really is interesting. Well done.
What is there about that song, Yellow Submarine? Can you tell us? What is there about it that makes it number 1?
That was probably the number 1 song that I can remember still today that I think I listened to. I know most of the lyrics and stuff, so.
Okay, very good. All right, Dale, we're gonna go to you next.
Okay. Well, I don't really have mine. Mine are more chronologically different stages of my life. Okay. So I start out with "I Want to Hold Your Hand" by the Beatles, tied with "Louie Louie."
Yeah.
When I was thinking there is remembering those times in high school where you get in a car with 2 or 3 guys, you just cruise up and down the streets and listen. And when there was a radio station in Little Rock, Arkansas, that you could get an AM station in the middle of the night,
What was that?
I can't remember the call. I remember the call letters of the station in Chicago and this sort of thing. WLS in Chicago. But there was one in Arkansas. And they, the year that they won the national championship in football, Big Red, he is the number 1 pig, because they had the Razorbacks. I remember them singing that, yeah. So that was a big time of my, I really, those teenage years and getting out with the guys and laughing and just doing crazy things. And nobody got hurt, nothing illegal, but it was just fun. So, okay.
That's what he says anyway.
That's what
Yeah.
I say anyway, yes.
Yeah.
And then next there's a song called Cherish by The Association. First real love song that really got to me. Cherish is the word I use to describe all the feelings that I have hiding here for you inside. You remember that? Okay. Oh, listen to it. It's a wonderful song.
Yeah.
But that was like a dating time. I was in the military,
Yeah.
and you're different places, you meet different girls and this sort of. But Cherish it's a beautiful song, and I still like it. Today, when it comes on, I always listen to it very carefully. College, romance. The first time ever I saw your face, Roberta Flack.
Yeah.
Okay, big song for me. I was in love, man, with that song.
Really?
Yeah, that's really got me. Okay.
Okay.
There's a song called Light My Fire by the Doors.
Come on, baby,
Okay,
light
okay.
my fire.
And very shortly, the best weekend, not family related, I ever had in my life was Corporal Sugar from Chicago was getting married in Pico Rivera, California.
Yeah.
And so he had a couple of us Marines stand up with him. And it was a church Episcopalian wedding. So we get up. We're staying at the bride's house, sleeping on couches and that sort of thing, and just having a wonderful time. And so Saturday morning I get up and Sugar's going to go wash his car.
Yeah.
And so I go with him. So we're driving, and he drives fast. And the long album cut of Light My Fire came on, which I had never heard before. It's like 5-6 minutes long. And it just filled me. I don't know. It was just a great song.
Yeah.
And it was just
on a special day.
on a special day. And then we had the wedding that afternoon. And then that evening, the bridesmaids and the bridegrooms all went out to the beach and sat on the beach in a blanket and
Yeah.
this sort of thing. And then the next day is Sunday. We all took the bridesmaids to Disneyland. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Oh, cool.
And so, and for a little kid from Hazelden who had grown up watching The Wonderful World of Disney on Channel 9, on
Right.
TV, and where they would have shows about that park, and to actually get to go there,
Yeah.
even though it cost me a fortune to get in. But it was just a great thing. And then the last one is Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen.
There you go.
Which, as
There
a
you
veteran,
go.
where it talks about the problems veterans have with, like he got, in the song, he got in trouble with the law, so that you want to go to jail or you want to go in the Army. And that happened a lot. So he went in the Army, then he got home, and he couldn't get his job back, and had all kinds of problems. If you listen to the song, it's not a real patriotic song, but it's a true song about how sometimes people are treated, how they are put in bad situations, and they say they're going to get stuff, but then it hurts them more than it helps them, and this sort of thing. So all these songs have had big impacts on my life at one time or another. And,
Very good.
but I will tell you, there are 100 others I
Yes.
could pick. I know lots of songs. I just love music, and so
Did another come to your mind, Graham, as your grandfather was saying one there, and one did come to my mind. I put it on off the list in the OTL. So off the list for me, The Four Walls of Rayford. It is about a Vietnam veteran that got arrested for a robbery that he didn't commit. He got 5 years in prison, and he broke out. He had served 2 years, couldn't handle. He had a wife and 2 children at home, and he couldn't handle being away from them. And it's called the Four Walls of Rayford.
okay, I've not heard that.
Yeah,
So.
Rayford, Georgia.
Okay.
Okay, that's be number 6, or just off the list.
Okay.
Number 5, a driving around song from my youth, from my utes,
Yeah.
as you would say, is "I Can Dance" by Leo Sayer.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Beautiful
wonderful
song.
song.
Great song. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Number 4, Hall & Oates, "The Rich Girl."
Okay.
She's a rich girl.
And you're gone too far,
There you
but you
go.
know it don't matter.
Easy
anyway.
now,
There you go. All
we're
right.
going to pay money here.
Oh yeah, we don't pay.
That's right. That's number 4. Number 3, although he leans toward the current administration, "Country Folks Can Survive" by Hank Williams Jr. My cousins, I talked about my cousins deep fat frying fish at the reunion.
Sure.
Yeah.
They are that family. They survive by what they
Sure.
kill, what
Yeah.
they get out of the river. They're competitive. They're good people. Everybody's their friend. But that's number 3. Number 2, I attacked him earlier on in the show, but this is why I asked you the question: Do do you like a person, like an artist for his art and not the way he is?
Yeah.
Number 2 is Thank God I'm a Country Boy by John Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was he a bad guy or?
He wasn't a bad guy.
Oh.
He was just, I think, he was an entertainer that just got tired of entertaining
Okay.
people.
No, I heard a guy saying that he heard that John Denver was driving a car and he ran into a tree. And his agent was thrilled because that's the first hit he'd had in years.
He's dead now.
Yeah, I understand that, yes.
Yes.
I understand that. So.
Crashed an airplane. And number 1, another John Denver hit, goes back to going to my father's people's Aunt Lottie out in West Virginia, Country Roads.
Yeah. Yeah, we do that quite, that comes up quite often in our podcast.
Yeah.
I know you like that song.
So that is number 1. What a great weekend, the podcast. This past week we had the podcast, of course, last week, Youth Talent Show at Land of Corn Park, 25 acts, including high school kids, middle school kids, and elementary children, piano players and singers. We had the Brass Blast Brass Band, I can say it.
Yep.
Just as they finished the summer for us, they were in Bremer Park in downtown Independence by the river there. They performed as people were going. You haven't done the underground?
No, I haven't. I'd like to sometime, yeah.
It's going to people's basements. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
But it's.
Well, we saw that little bit below the Sanity Room that one time, and so.
But that was Saturday, and then today we are having. Yesterday, Sunday, we had the music. Not the rap session. What do we call it here, Dale?
The Artist Collaborative is
No,
the 25th
the
jam session?
The jam session.
Yeah.
Jam
Thank you.
session.
The jam session. You need to bring your tuba and get involved in that. We've got at least 2 people playing accordions. We've got 3 guitar players, including Chet Reagan.
Okay.
We have a couple drummers.
So we need a trombone player.
We need a trombone player.
Now, as soon as he gets his license, he'll come up.
All right. All right. So, and then coming a week from today is the artist collaboration in Gedney's. We're going 9:00 in the morning at Gedney's because of conflicts at the Lutheran Church. We've had to change venues. So we want to thank them for allowing us to have our collaboration there for a while. We have Elsie and Pat McIntosh and M's Coffee, their art. Did you see Elsie was on public television?
I did not see that.
She was the Blackhawk County Queen representative at the state fair.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I need to get out. That's really something, though.
It
That's
is.
special, yeah.
Yes. But don't forget, Elsie and Pat's art is shown at M's Coffee. Don't forget, we have the 24-hour Mustang camera sponsored by Joe's Pizza in Independence. Graham is a fan of Joe's Pizza, and I have breakfast with Joe about once a month. I will tell him that you're a fan that is known as far away as Johnston, Iowa. So we need audience help to meet 12 artists. I misspoke. We need an artist for December, for Christmas.
Yeah.
In M's. And I know we have one if we go to one that we've already spoken to, but I would like to exhibit someone that has not been posted in M's yet.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
We are looking for 12 new artists for next year already to show in M's. And I want to do a shout out to a couple of listeners. One's a new listener up in Lawler, Iowa. The sister of Pat Rose, Karen Reichs, contacted me, and she appreciated us talking about Pat last week. Karen and her husband Bill have been very kind to the Art Center, and I enjoy communicating with Karen. You know, it lets me go back to Pat a little bit. Great story about Pat. My car was broke down in Independence, and I went to Pat one day. I said, Roast, my car's in Independence being fixed. Take me to Independence after school. So we drove into Independence. You know, you cross the bridge and you come to that stoplight by Gedney. The light was green, but the don't walk sign was flashing. And so Pat stopped at the stoplight on a green stoplight. I said, Rose, what are you doing? She said the don't walk sign was flashing. I said, Rose, what are you doing? She just sort of giggled at me and stayed there. It was safe, she said.
Yeah.
So I missed my friend Pat. The days that, and the other person I want to shout out to is Katie Belvins. She's been on the show before. She's an artist here in town. She is redoing a garden right now, Dale, and it got away on her as she had surgery this summer, so she sent me a video today, and she tore rocks up, tore weeds out. She's got a long way to go, but she's working at it. It amazes me what Katie gets done. So I want to say hi to Katie and thank her for listening as well. If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center or have an idea for an event, go to the SteveBrownArtsCenter.org and follow the link. Don't forget, we're on Facebook at the Steve Brown Arts Center. Want to say thank you to Josie Lloyd. She takes care of our Facebook for us, and we don't give her the credit she deserves. If you have news or would like to sponsor us, email us at jim@stevebrownartscenter.org or call 319-290-0241 and leave a message. I'm Jim Gillespie with co-host Dale Rueber, producer Blake Tempus, special co-host Graham Harris. And we'd like to thank Kelly Seahas and Cowork 591 for hosting us and sponsoring us, and thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your life. And remember, each day is about little victories.